So I don't see why that was needed. That kind of already muted Orton. But Orton himself and him returning immediately after that match muted Kevin Owens' opportunity to really generate and hold that heat that he had created after decimating Sami Zayn. So I would have loved to rather see Orton return on this episode of Friday Night Smackdown, perhaps while Kevin Owens was cutting a promo talking about the fact that he ended Sami Zayn's career. And you know what I'm saying? We're really just seeing a display of, man, this guy's a sick, psychopathic human being. And you can't believe he did that to his friend and that type of vibe. And then Orton comes out and he gets that big spotlight. And that's the moment I feel like that could have been more effective. Boom, bam, bam. Wrestling fans, we in. Okay, okay, okay. Randy Orton's return speech. All right, man. So he came out to open Friday Night SmackDown to cut a promo. You know what I'm saying? This is his first promo since making his return at the Elimination Chamber when he interrupted at the end of that match, at the conclusion of that match against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, the unsanctioned match, right when Kevin was about to drive Sami Zayn's head into the exposed concrete. So now what I did like about this promo, it seems to kind of be going along with the ongoing theme where you're seeing them kind of give guys a lot more freedom on the microphone, uh, able to use a few different types of tones, which I think in Randy Orton's case, it kind of adds a different layer to his character. You know, instead of us just seeing him going out there and being super angry and maybe being very straight to the point and maybe a very well written and organized promo, we see him kind of ad lib with the crowd, kind of take his time, almost as if he's kind of just talking to you in real life as Randy Orton, the person, not so much Randy Orton, the wrestler. So that's kind of cool. He started the promo off by kind of talking about the John Cena situation, threw a little joke in there, threw a little comedy in there, and he kind of blurred the lines of people that he's friends with in the industry and actually believe him when he says, I mean, I think we do kind of know this to some extent. This has been documented that he is actually friends with John Cena. And I think it may be also be true that he's actually friends behind the scenes with Kevin Owens. And he's able to kind of weave those real life friendships into the promo and kind of use that as something to tell a compelling story in regards to Kevin Owens specifically. Um, so that's an interesting tone to see him use. I didn't really expect him to come out like that. I think the whole time when he was out for so long because of Kevin Owens apologized him in the middle of the ring and took him out for 4 months, we expected him to come back with maybe just straight aggression, straight the Viper, the Legend Killer, just that's kind of sadistic Randy Orton, and perhaps we're gonna slowly see him go to that. I mean, by the end of the promo, kind of is what he was conveying. But I will like to say that I mean I feel like they could have allowed Kevin Owens to have some more heat carried over from that unsanctioned match. To me, it just seemed like right away now we forgot about the fact that Kevin Owens decimated Sami Zayn in that match. I mean, I did create a video specifically reviewing that match, and my problem with it was mainly was because by having Orton come out right then and there at Elimination Chamber, not only was his return kind of not as impactful, he didn't really get the spotlight that he should really be getting because later on in the night we had the whole John Cena heel turn situation, so we kind of forgot, oh yeah, Randy Orton did return at Elimination Chamber. It was kind of weakened by that huge moment that came later on in the night. So I don't see why that was needed. That kind of already muted Orton. But Orton himself and him returning immediately after that match muted Kevin Owens' opportunity to really generate and hold that heat that he had created after decimating Sami Zayn. So I would have loved to rather see Orton return on this episode on Friday Night Smackdown, perhaps while Kevin Owens was cutting a promo talking about the fact that he ended Sami Zayn's career. And you know what I'm saying? We're really just seeing a display of, man, this guy's a sick, psychopathic human being. And you can't believe he did that to his friend, and that type of vibe. And then Orton comes out and he gets that big spotlight. And that's the moment I feel like that could have been more effective. Because even now, it's like he's just cutting a promo to cut a promo. It's kind of how it felt to some extent. I still like the promo that he did cut, and it's kind of cool to see him deliver that type of promo, but I don't know if this was the right time for that promo. It almost like diminished Kevin Owens. Like, hey, we're just happy to see Randy Orton come back. It was like a promo that you would cut if you just returned with no storyline, as if a guy did not take you out with a pile driver months back and you're supposed to be pissed off at him. It's like you're just returning and we're just excited to see Randy Orton speak whatever words is going to come out of his mouth. We're just happy to see Randy Orton back. That was the type of promo that was, to some extent. Like I said, he did circle back and make it make sense and brought it back to life and brought it back to the story. But it could have done something that helped out all parties a little bit more. Because, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's definitely going to get his punt kick on Kevin Owens. And right now, that's all this is building up to be. Yeah, we're just excited to see him punt Kevin Owens. And that's it. As if it's like just for fun. You know, we spent all this time building up Kevin Owens through the storylines he told, through the stories he told with Cody Rhodes, through the stories he told with Sami Zayn. We created all this heat. He shifted from a babyface at the time to a guy that held down his friends and stuck by his friends. And then slowly, they took a lot of time, slowly turned on Cody Rhodes. And for reasons that to some degree you could say is justifiable. And also Randy Orton. And kind of brought that side of Kevin Owens back out that he, you know, he can go to. Right? But it's almost like it feels a little bit diminished right now, because I think it would have been a lot more effective to see Kevin Owens cut a gut-wrenching promo on this episode of SmackDown, talking about what he did to Sami Zayn, and he had what coming to him and he deserved it. And then, you know, you have Randy Orton return then to a massive, huge pop, and that would be the talk of the night. You wouldn't have him sandwiched between the John Cena heel turn situation. He would have his own moments. And also Kevin Owens would at least had about a week to hold that heat, let that heat that he has by destroying Sami Zayn marinate. Because that's what he's going to need if he is going to be able to be a contender against Randy Orton. A believable contender, in all honesty. Right? Because Kevin Owens a lot of times seems to be the guy that just builds up other people. So if you're really going to have him be a serious contender, we all probably know he's not going to win the match. But at least believable, because he's just taking things to such an extreme psychotic level where he really has that heat. And Orton really feels threatened by him. Then we could buy in and we could believe that, hey, man, he might actually do some real damage to Orton, and maybe he actually has a chance of pulling out the victory on Randy Orton. And Randy Orton's really pissed off about what happened and took away 4 months of his career, and he's really angry to get him back. But right now it almost seems like a foregone conclusion, and even Orton's tone kind of communicates that he already knows, like, yeah, I'm gonna punt Kevin Owens, and that's just what's gonna happen at WrestleMania. We're all gonna clap and cheer and be happy and end the story. And that's right now, it just feels like wasted heat, wasted time generating that heat, and that yeah. So I don't know. They could have just done a better job of producing the whole thing and making these moments matter and mean something a whole lot more than what they did. But we'll see what happens. You know, we'll see what happens next week. I'm sure Kevin Owens will have something to say about it, and we'll see how they try to get this thing back to that level of excitement, and we'll see what happens. All right.